I got both my minions with me today. Just getting to this permission farm. This is a farm I introduced on a show not too long ago. It's a smaller farm in size. This is my ideal permission farm. This is textbook. And I guess a great way to start it off is, Shay, what do you realize? What do you see? Where are we walking here?
Nowhere, there's no woods.
You can't see any woods from the road. The road's about 100 yards from where we just walked to our west. You can't see anything from the road. Let's go over this hill, see what we can see. Been sitting, I think, since January. Dude, it's still working. That has been on. This camera has been on since January, and I'm pretty sure I did an interview like when I put this up, and it was still half battery. It's been going since the second week of October, and it still got charged. These cameras are nuts. Next spot, boys. Good spot for a camera right here. It's May 16th, and we're out here at what I would call is my ideal permission farm. This is one of my favorite farms still, actually, to this day. I've only been on it for the past 3 years, but we're coming in here, grabbing some cameras, some Trax cameras that I've already, I hung, I want to say back in January or something, put a few up bales in front of them. And we're getting these cameras out here. We're looking for new sign, marking it on Onyx. For example, if I'm finding a big scrape right now, probably not gonna hang a camera over it right now, but I'm gonna come back to that pin later in October. Maybe it's worth hanging a camera. So I'm just looking for sign, just natural glance. And right here to my left, I got a fence opening that it's actually my first time ever finding it. And there's fresh sign all over it. This grass is bent, there's fresh mud tracks. Perfect tree right here to hang a camera. So these deer are more than likely bedding across the fence, coming out to this destination ag to feed in the summer months, so later on. But there is a water source to our north, so more than likely these deer are gonna travel through here to get their water and to come out to feed later on. So we're just gonna let these cameras soak. Eventually, I'm gonna check all my cameras probably late July, and I'm just gonna have a day where I'm just gonna check all the cards with you guys, and we'll make a video out of it. So let's get some cameras hung. I like these new Trax. We actually just picked this one up. It's been running since October. I moved it here in January, and it's still got battery on it. That's crazy. That blows me away. That was one of the things I've been talking about. I'm really impressed with how long these batteries last in these cameras. And there is a trick to these batteries. You need to use Rayovacs. That's my tip for you guys today. The Rayovac batteries just seem to work best and longest in these cutty-back cameras. So let's get this camera hung up. I think it's gonna be a really good spot. We're gonna find some more spots, probably try and put up some vine scrapes, and I'll introduce a deer that was on this farm last year that I'm really excited to pick back up. Camera 3. Big trail going through here. All right, so we're just coming to a spot that I had marked on Onyx last year as the spot that had a lot of sign. There were a couple scrapes just up to my north, but this trail, it comes down into a nice pinch. Everything comes together right here. We got a steep ledge, creek bottom right here. I mean, there's even trails coming across the creek up to where we're at. So I was gonna do a vine scrape here, but there's just so much. I mean, everything pinches down right here. There's just no need to. So we're just gonna hang a camera up here. Maybe we'll pick another spot. You know, when I'm hanging cameras, I'm not just looking for spots for vine scrapes necessarily, not looking for spots for corn, mineral. If I was doing that, I'd just stick them all out on the field edges. But if you can just hang cameras on natural trails and just get those natural photos without manipulating them, that's the intel that I want. So instead of using mineral or corn to get them to come to the camera, I'd rather see their natural movement around the farm, them coming to check a scrape, them just walking a trail, stuff like that. That way I can pick up on what they actually do instead of getting some kind of pattern, so to say, on mineral. So I like this trail. There's like 4 or 5 trails that actually come into here, so this is probably gonna be a really good camera. Laying a tracks up, turn it on, and get out of here. Man, this farm gets me so excited, you guys. It's a killer farm, and like I've said, I've been running cameras on here for 3 years, and it seems like every year I get a half dozen or so bucks over that 150, 160 range. And it just gets me so excited because it's a small piece, you can't see it from the road. The only way you can really see it is through Onyx. And that's how I ended up finding this farm and getting permission. Now, a lot of you guys are probably starting to go get permission right now. Maybe you already have permission. Well, I'm gonna challenge you guys to get your cameras out earlier this year. You know, we put cameras up over a fence crossing, a natural fence opening, where these deer are pinching down and coming out to Big Ag, getting their water up here. If there was one location that I would have liked to add it, I would have liked to add a vine scrape. Those are one of my favorite ways to get pictures in the summer months because I don't get as many does. I get more bucks, it seems like. And when I'm putting those scrapes up, I'm either trying to find a pinch point like we found earlier today in that fence gap, or that third location on that big trail, and I'm gonna put it right in front of their heads so they can smack it and they can work it every time they come out here. But we just put cameras up over natural openings today. I know I've already said I like getting that intel of just the natural movement through a farm. You're gonna learn more about your farm if you get that natural info through your cuttybacks, instead of putting bait throughout the farm at multiple locations or even one location, making those deer move off their natural pattern or what that pattern could be in October, November, compared to the summer months. You know, that's gonna change a lot. But this is a textbook farm for my ideal permission farm. It has the seclusion, we've talked about that already. It's got the grass cover. As soon as we popped up in this CRP actually, we found 3 beds. There's just beds all over this hillside. It's about 20 acres of CRP on the east side of this creek. Then on the west side, it's more of the woodsy stuff, and then a lot of Big Ag. But it does have water on here as well. That's one of the 3 things that I talked about when looking for my ideal permission farm. So this is what it looks like. There's one deer in particular that I am pretty eager to hopefully try and find back, and I haven't named him yet. He was just a really big buck that has been on the cameras the last couple of years. He was actually probably 20 yards off my left shoulder. In front of me is where I got that picture of him. I think it was like October 7th or October 8th, something like that. It was pure daylight, and I was thinking, man, why the heck wasn't I sitting in my tree stand that day? So hopefully you guys picked up a couple things that help you either find your ideal permission farm, find your next big buck, or put your cameras out this time of year. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be putting a lot of vine scrapes up on the River Bottom farm. I was hunting the Beast over there a little bit last year, so was Casey. There's a lot of good bucks gonna be on that farm again next year. It's probably gonna be my top farm. We're gonna introduce that tomorrow. It's called the River Bottom Farm. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for following along today. We'll see you back on the next one.